Today's video is going to be the best video you've ever seen, so stop what you're doing, turn off the TV, put down your phone. Unless you're watching this on your phone, then pick back up your phone and get ready for the best video ever. Maybe not the best video ever, but definitely the strangest video ever. If I had to compare this video to a person, I'd most definitely compare it to the kid at school who used to sit at the back of the class and just eat pencil shavings he kept in his pocket for some reason. So my most recent pastime is browsing through YouTube until I fall asleep. But I've started to notice that for some reason, YouTube keeps suggesting the same videos to me. The bit I don't really understand is, the videos that keep getting suggested to me are all from the 2005 Warner Brothers film, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now don't get me wrong, it is an amazing film. It is probably the fourth best film ever made, after Shrek, Ghost Rider and Babe 2, Pig in the City. I can't figure out why YouTube thinks this is something that would be of interest to me, because it's nothing like anything I normally search, and I don't search anything that's related to Willy or Wonka. You know what, I better clear my search history. Despite being very confused, I did actually look at the videos because I thought it's worth just seeing what's going on. My initial thought was Willy Wonka sounds a lot like the way an immature doctor would describe a bent penis, and the chocolate factory is what's on the other side. When looking through these videos, the first thing that struck me is the film was brought out in 2005. However, Warner Brothers decided to create a YouTube channel for it in 2014, 9 years after it was brought out. Which really makes me wonder, why the wait, Warner Brothers? This channel has 300,000 followers and 216 million views. So either all the Oompa Loompas have their own account and have decided to follow it, or there's some real die-hard fans out there. Not only does it have this many followers, but it also uploaded a video 1 week ago. Like the videos are still in demand. It had 500,000 views. Probably because it keeps coming up in people's suggested videos. So let's just walk this through. There was a film that came out 15 years ago, okay? From a company that makes thousands of films. And for some reason they've chosen this one to keep promoting and also have its own channel for. Warner Brothers did The Matrix, which doesn't have a channel. Warner Brothers did the Batman trilogy, which doesn't have a channel. Warner Brothers did Harry Potter, which has a channel, which only has 285,000 followers and 63 million views. How does Willy Wonka have 154 million more views than Harry Potter? To try and understand this better, I have watched every single video on the Willy Wonka channel. Starting from the clips of how it's made, to the backing music tracks. Hashtag bangers. There's even a video on how they trained all the squirrels to do the stunts for the nut scene. After watching hundreds of hours of these videos on YouTube, I decided to take to Google to see what the reviews were like. We have 83% from Rotten Tomatoes, solid. 4 out of 5 from Common Sense Media, sturdy. A 93% positivity rate from Google viewers, compact. And a score of 6.6 on IMDb. Honestly, I think they're talking out of their arse. All the reviews are pretty much what you'd expect. They're quite positive. It's things like brilliant film, fun for the family, great comedy timing, enjoyed every minute of it. There's also a most recent one from a Vague Weekly which says, the greatest movie I've ever seen ever. It really umpered my lumper. The majority of the reviews are just a few sentences long, which is what you'd expect. However, I then noticed a review from someone who clearly has never seen a film rated higher than PG-13. And just looking at his review, he may very well be the most evil person on the planet. It really gets me annoyed every time I read it. To protect this person's identity, I'm not going to use his name. I'm just going to refer to him as Bedwetter. So Bedwetter starts off with a 1-star review. He clearly thinks his opinion is better than Rotten Tomatoes, Common Sense Media, and 93% of people on Google. His opening line is, "Kids, do not watch this." Which ironically is what parents say to their children as they pass him in the park as he's drowning ducks in the water. You know, because he's evil. He carries on to say, "What a stupid movie. Hate me all you want." Don't worry, Bedwetter. I already do. God, so dramatic. Bedwetter then goes on to say, this movie is too scary to be a family movie. Okay, firstly, it's a Tim Burton film. That's his style. What were you expecting? Secondly, the plot of this film is about a man who takes a group of children into his factory and slowly takes them out one by one. It's basically a diabetic version of the Hunger Games. But fair enough, I will give you that point. There are bits in it which I think may be scary to children. Even though you are wrong and have a really stupid face. I imagine. Oh, I'm getting ready for a fight. Bedwetter then goes on to question why Willy Wonka looks like the Mad Hatter from the 2010 film Alice in Wonderland. Actually, the answer's quite simple, Mr. Bedwetter. I'll explain it to you. It's because they're played by the same person. One could also say he looks a little bit like Edward Scissorhands and Captain Jack Sparrow. Alice in Wonderland was brought out later than Willy Wonka, so really the Mad Hatter looks like Willy Wonka. Get your timeline straight. Really embarrassing yourself here? What else you got? Bedwetter then goes on to part 3 of his complaint, with point 3 being that the film is way too scary. Wait, hold on. The film is way too scary. Wait, this is exactly the same as part 1. You're just repeating yourself, it's the same point. Your review may as well have been, point 1, I didn't like the film. Point 2, I didn't like the film. Point 3, oh, you guessed it, I didn't like the film. But it doesn't end here. He then goes on to say he doesn't like the colours or flashiness of the film. He also didn't like the new tech used in it, and he also didn't like the fact that the Oompa Loompas didn't look or sound like the ones from the 1971 version of the film. I think I can answer this one for you as well, Bedwetter. The reason that they didn't look like the Oompa Loompas from the 1971 film is because they are all dead, because that film was made in 1971. You've complained that it's too scary, but surely, if we had your way, there'd be a bunch of corpses dancing around the factory, which I think is considerably worse. If you wanted to watch a film that was like the 1971 version, you should have watched the 1971 version. Bedwetter then ends with a few repeated statements of how he calls the film creepy, weird, and describes Willy Wonka, and I quote, as dangerous to children. Well, I suppose if you define dangerous as a great role model who built his own business up from nothing, saved a whole tribe of rainforest dwarves, and then decides to give his billion-dollar company away to a child who grew up in poverty, then yeah, I suppose he is dangerous to children. But apart from all that, I think he liked it. I've always believed that it's very important to take other people's opinions into account. Unless, of course, they're like Bedwetter and they're wrong. Personally, I think it's a great film and should have more publicity. YouTube should put it on more people's suggested pages. At the moment, I don't have much persuasive power, only having 9,000 followers here and 500,000 on TikTok. But if you're watching this, it is important that you 1. Go and subscribe to the Willy Wonka channel. 2. You share this video around everyone so they can also subscribe to it. And 3. Go and watch the film right now. Also, 4, if you have some time, it would be great if you subscribe to me as well.